Hi everyone, this is Coach Dominic from Fastlane Swimming and Masters Swimming Club in Hong Kong. I had the pleasure of speaking with William Yen Thorley, or Bill Thorley, earlier today. Bill recently represented Hong Kong in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics as our marathon 10K swimmer. He was the youngest swimmer in the Hong Kong team, as well as the youngest in the competition itself. I hope to celebrate his success by sharing his growing up story and also his journey so far. Please enjoy. Hello, Bill.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Bill, the Olympian. Do you know now you can add these initials at the back, OLY, to your name?
Yeah,
Bill Thorley,
yeah,
OLY. How cool is that?
yeah, I did see that. Yeah, it is pretty cool, but and I did apply for it, but I probably won't use it personally until
Oh, you've
maybe
applied
later
for
in
it.
life.
You've applied for it
Yeah,
already. Wow, that's so cool.
yeah.
Hey, so thank you very much for speaking with me, and it's real exciting for me to be speaking to a Olympian
Oh well, I've
fresh off
no
the boat.
problem.
It's amazing because like I mentioned last time, you were this little kid, and
Mm, mm.
now you're a grown man with a moustache and proper set of teeth. So, firstly, congratulations, well done.
Thanks,
Wow, I
thanks.
we've been very. I don't know about the others, but a few of us have been kept informed of your progress. Like your father's been posting on social media mostly,
Hmm.
and so we
Hmm.
we kind of know what you had to go through, like the qualifying in Portugal
Mm.
to get your spot, and it's been a really tough journey. But for every Olympian who gets there, it's the same story, right? Everybody has their
Mm.
story, but yours is one that I'd like to find out a bit more about. So here we go. I mean, this is more of the factual version of who you are, starting from you were
Uh-huh.
born in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I was
Yeah.
born in Hong Kong. I went to school in Hong Kong until I was 16. I went to public school, like not public school, but a local school, Cantonese speaking school, until year two in primary school. So I was about 9, I think, and then I moved to an international school until I was 16.
Oh, right. So 7 years in a sort of international school, which where I
Yeah,
understand your father used to coach.
yeah, yeah,
That's really good. So your dad is Australian originally?
yeah. Born in Australia, grew up there, and he moved here for work as a vet. But he's very passionate about swimming and he's been very involved. And he always checks in, sees what's happening.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But your mom is local. Is from Hong Kong.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She grew up in Hong Kong,
yeah,
born in Hong Kong, and met my dad in Hong Kong, and yeah.
yeah. Cool. Well, you know how I actually. Well, you're 18. I probably know you since you were aware of your swimming since you were a little kid from 8 years old. I just wanted to say how I got to know about you was because I used to swim with your father in open
Mm.
water races. He used to turn out, he and Scott would be the two people, and him used to be in front of me all the time. So I made a point of, making sure I know who my competitor was. And then I became friends on social media, and then I keep seeing his taking you guys swimming every morning, like really early, like 4:30 and sort of thing. So is this something that you remember when you started
Yeah,
swimming? You didn't Did you like it? You and your brother together, right? Two of you.
yeah. So he's always made sure that we've all been able to swim. Our family's always been swimmers, and to be honest, well, I've always done it. He taught me how to swim when I was 4, And so all of our siblings were swimming growing up. I kind of like I swum, but I kind of was more interested in basketball at that young age. And I wasn't a very good swimmer well, I don't think I was a very good swimmer. But then about 13, I started open water swimming. He would take me out, well, actually earlier than that, maybe 9, 10, 11, 12, just the really short distances. And I would go out swim open water. And so by the time I was 13, 14, because I wasn't very good in the pool to start off with, I would go swim further than everyone else wanted to. And so I would do like the 2-kilometer races. I remember faking my age just to get in the race because there are age restrictions.
Oh, we didn't hear that. Did you do that?
Yeah, I did that quite a lot.
So your age now, what exactly is your age now?
18.
18. You had your 18th birthday.
Yeah. I turned 19 in September.
Oh, okay. But in this games, are you the youngest? Well, I think you're the youngest in the swim team for sure. But you're youngest overall in the.
Yeah, I was the youngest in the whole Hong Kong Olympic team, and I was the youngest in the open water race by 2 years.
By 2 years. Wow. Okay. Hey, so you used to swim. Where did you swim? Because you live in Yuen Long, right? And your father is a vet, and he works shifts. And where does he take you swimming in the morning?
So
Before school,
growing
right?
up, yeah. So when I was really young, I did, he would take us swimming just in Yuen Long pool, public pool, and things like that. And then sometimes we went to, when he couldn't take us swimming, we would go to a local club called Charmé, and also some other clubs before that, but Charmé is the club I'm in now, a local club. And we did like the local training, and then just that Yuen Long area really growing up when I was young. And then as I got older, we went out to the beach. We would drive there before school, and we'd just swim 5Ks every morning before school. And then after school, we'd go train somewhere else.
Wow. So all this time before you went open water, you were swimming in the pool with Charmé and other people. Wow, basically in the pool. Hey, Charmé, for those who don't know, I happen to have come across it because of you and Ken, your father. It's actually run by ex-Hong Kong swimmer.
Yeah.
What is his English name?
He doesn't have one.
He doesn't have. What do you call him? Mingsa.
Mingsa. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen him swim?
Yeah. I remember swimming the 200 fly when I was 14. I think he's got to be over 50, and he beat me in the 200 fly. He's still got it. He's still very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him 10 years ago, probably in a 50 fly race. Sorry, we're digressing from you, but he's worth a mention because he's a famous character. I think he went to the '84 Olympics for Hong Kong, and he went like 27 seconds on the 50 fly when it was like 40 plus. So very impressive. Oh, I see. So how long is the drive? How much effort? I mean, is it almost a daily routine? How much did you swim?
Yeah, so we would drive an hour to swim out, like it was an hour drive. So we'd wake up, 4, maybe even before 4.
Wow.
Get to the water.
Were you sleeping in the car mostly?
Yeah.
Were you excited to be going?
Well, most days you're not excited, but once you get in the water, me anyway, I was at that age so much more intrigued by open water swimming than pool swimming.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so much more interesting. You know, there's so much more to see, and I just liked racing in that format.
What is there to see? At least there's a black line in the pool, and you can see
Yeah.
clearly. In open water, it's Hong Kong water is quite dark, and you
Mm.
know, but
Yeah, well,
obviously the scenery is good.
with my dad doing open water races and my brother doing open water races, and even my sister, I'd always seen, you know, everyone do open water, and then I want to be like, oh, I want to be like them.
Oh,
And so growing up, I saw Singer Chow. Have you heard of Singer Chow?
yeah, he was number one then.
Yeah, he
That's
was
very
just
good.
the man to beat. It
Yes.
was back then, it was like he was, you know, almost the god of Hong Kong open water, you know? And you just want to be like him. So that was really me growing up.
Yeah, he did really well. He was one of the few representatives. You know, Hong Kong used to run the marathon swim as one of the stops for the World Cup, and he would be one of the swimmers who would be way ahead of the other swimmers from Hong Kong. So you know,
Yeah, he
he
was
was really good.
Hong Kong champion. I don't know how many times. He was at least Hong Kong champion once, and he also went to the Olympic qualifiers,
Yeah,
2015, 2016. So yeah,
yeah. 15, 16. How old were you then? You were like
I would have
13.
been 2015, 2016.
6 years ago, you're
When
18, so 12.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Hong Kong, there's a race in Hong Kong which a lot of people pay a lot of attention to. Not the cross harbor. Cross harbor is kind of short. You can't really call it a race.
Mm,
It's to me, it's an exhibition, a show for our you know group to be able to swim across the harbor. But the 15K clean half, that's the
mm,
race that a lot of people look forward to doing. It's a 15K, but most people do it by relay. So you know, 5 people relay.
mm.
You swim 10 minutes each, that sort of thing. But you entered it as a solo swim, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
how old
so
were
it
you then?
was.
You were 13.
I was 13, but I'd only just no, I was 14, but I'd
Or
only just had my birthday.
yeah,
So
you didn't have to fake your age.
no, no. But there was a funny story behind that one. So my
Yeah.
school team, because of my because he coaches the school, so that squad always enters one or two teams every year back then. And I remember saying to my dad, "Oh yeah, I want to swim the clean half." And then so they already had 5 fast male and females, faster than me at the time. And so he says, "Tell you what, I think if I train you for it, you can swim it on your own, like solo." And so we spent probably half a year training for it, doing 10K, 15K swims,
Mm,
and building up to that race.
mm.
Yeah.
And then you entered. You how did you feel about the training and then entering the race?
Oh, well, back
Was it
then
hard
it
work to
wasn't.
you? You know, was it hard work? 10 to
Well,
15
it
minutes swim?
wasn't. I didn't find the distance hard. It was more of a mental battle having a race that long. And it was really windy, choppy conditions that day. And my dad had an inflatable kayak and he got blown away. And like,
Yes.
so I was swimming alone the whole race.
Very famous
Uh,
story.
yeah, no drinks, no nothing.
How did you feel?
So that
Were
was
you
probably
looking
the
for
harder
him?
part. Yeah, but he did say to me, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm falling behind. I'll like go around this way and I'll catch you in 30 minutes." And I never saw him again. That
So
was
you're very
about
much on
three
your own.
kilometers. Yeah, yeah.
That was when? How much further to go did you have?
Or probably about 12 kilometers.
Oh wow. Ooh, so
Yeah.
you're all on your own.
Mm.
What was going through your mind? How do you were you worried? Were you I'm just gonna keep at it and I know I can do it because
Yeah,
I've done the
yeah,
practice.
yeah. Well, I'd done the practice, I'd done the training. I knew I could make 15K.
Oh,
We'd
okay.
done it a few times and he made sure I could do it. before we did the race, and so
So
I
you
knew I was
actually
going to
swam.
make it. It was just
Yeah, you actually swam the course itself, did you? Or
I think
equivalent?
we did. I think I remember what we did was we hired our own boat, and we got the team that was racing from school, and they swam it as a relay while I swam it by myself. So we kind of already did the race once before I actually did it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. That makes sense, right? Practice what you have to do. So I have no fear. I remember
Yeah.
Michael Phelps didn't have his goggles, right, or filled up with water when he tried to fly in Beijing. And this is 2008. And he kept his stroke count, and he made it. Although he was a bit upset at the end, but he still broke the world record then. So it's knowing what you have to do, right?
Yeah,
That's really,
yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
So all this time, but since then, you grew to be more interested in open water races.
Yeah, well, I
this was
liked
when you
it
were
a lot
14.
more than I liked it a lot more than pool swimming, and I still do. It's like pool swimming for me. You know, my skills were never that good, dives, turns, underwaters, but I could swim a long way. And so after that, it was really just developing speed to go with that. So yeah.
Wow, developing some speed. I think you were selected to join the Hong Kong team as well at some stage. Or how did you get involved with it? How is that part of the training workout? There's a lot of resource in the Hong Kong training, Hong Kong team training.
So I made the Hong Kong team for the first time when I was 14, right after I'd won the Gold Coast race.
Oh yeah.
In Tuen Mun.
Is that
The
one in the 5K? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those two open water races organized by the ASA.
The ASA runs.
So one is in Tai Mei Tok, and the other one is in Gold Coast.
Well, I didn't actually win it. I was the first Hong Kong club swimmer. I was second behind Gordon Mason, who was visiting. But yeah, that's how I made it the first time. But
Well done.
I'd been training. I had a long summer in Australia training with my dad, and then before that I'd been training in the Hong Kong team already, although I hadn't made it. But I was in that squad trying to keep up. So yeah.
Trying to keep up. Yeah. Because I imagine there are a lot of people who swam at 1500, that sort of thing, or distance swimming. And they would be at speed, but rather than, they would race at 800 and 1500, but not so much the 10K. But you came out on top on a 10K.
Yeah. I feel like, and it still shows, my 1500 times and 800 times never reflected me personally what I could do in the open water. Just from all the different skills and tactics and other things that play into it, I've been able to swim above that 1500 indicator. And back then it was the same thing. I was, even in the Hong Kong team, I was probably the slowest 1500 swimmer back then. And but I think I was second fastest in Tai Mei Tok, or third. So yeah.
For 10K.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating how you swim 10K and you would sustain and come out on top. On a shorter distance, you don't quite make it, as you don't quite make the cut. But really, 10K is your special interest and kind of proven to have worked out. That's amazing. But the selection process is quite complicated, to qualify for the Worlds, or for. Did you swim in Guangzhou year before for Hong
Yeah,
Kong, the
yeah, I
World
did,
Champs?
but I came 61st.
Yeah, out of 600
So
people, obviously.
out of 80 something, but it wasn't as good as Sedabel. Yeah, still a fair way off. I was only 16 then, only just turned 16.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
So young and amazing. Yeah. So, yeah, a couple of days ago, I met with the ASA official, Mr.
Mm.
Lee Kam Gong, and I think Mac, Coach Mac, was there with you to try to get your qualification for the Olympics in the Portuguese. Is that right? Open water.
Yeah, in Portugal.
Were you
Yeah.
confident going into that race? How was it shaping up? Were you excited? Or were you
Oh,
looking?
I definitely wasn't. I tried to pretend like I could make it, but really in my head, I knew the chances was probably 25-30%, I thought, going
Yeah.
into that race. And I packed all my bags, all the trip. We hadn't planned a single thing after that race because we kind of planned that we're coming straight back to Australia because we didn't think the chances of me qualifying was too high.
So we
But
as in you and your dad.
me and my dad, my coach, my now coach, but I think me personally and my dad didn't think the chances was crazy high, but it was possible, and that's what we're chasing for, the possibility. So.
And what did you have to do in that race? What did you have to come a certain placing
So,
or Asia #1 or?
yeah, I have to be the fastest Asian, not including the Japanese because they're the host nation, or I have to come top 9. And only one swimmer per country was allowed through at maximum. So I came 26, and yeah, I got through on 26, and I was ahead of Taiwan and Thailand, and might be a few more I forgot, but yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's really awesome. Because Taiwan is quite good at distance swimming. I think
Yeah.
got some good
I'd never
1500
beaten
swimmers.
that. I'd never beaten that Taiwanese swimmer before, and his 1500 best time is actually a full minute faster than mine.
1 minute.
Yeah, 1 whole minute over 1500. But
Wow.
I think I'm not sure on his conditioning at that point, but I knew I was at my best, and I was a lot better than I had been when I raced him in the past before COVID. I must have been 16. So yeah, it was different, but yeah.
Yeah. Pretty well known for the distance swimming. Yeah. But also in the last few years, you've sort of really improved because you get a chance to, because you moved to Australia to carry on your studies. I think a number of things happen. You get a chance to swim with some of the best open water swimmers, young and old, and I've seen you race, very often in that part of the world. Is it, where about are you? Sunshine Coast?
Yeah, the Sunshine Coast. Yeah, the good things about here.
No crocodiles there?
I train. No. There
No
are
sharks?
but there are.
Ooh.
But yeah, you don't think about that when you swim. So, but yeah, I train with Nick Sloman and Karina Lee, who are both Australian champions here, and I train in the squad, and that's really what's excelled me and really fast tracked my swimming. Just
Wow.
having people of such a great level to train alongside, and a solid coaching plan, and we've been able to really improve these last 3 years. Yeah.
3 years. Wow. I think the timing
Yeah.
is kind of really worked well, because we had pool closures in the last 2 years for sure, in 2019, and then last year, 2020, when we had COVID-19 hit. We in Hong Kong had, out of the year, out of the 12 months, we had 10 months of full closure. Only a limited number of people were able to actually swim and train. Beaches were shut here. The people who could train were in the Hong Kong team, destined to time trial, and they were training at the SI, Sports Institute. So your timing is worked out really well. It's worked out really well. So for your training, right, I just wanted to get a feel for what kind of distances you do, what kind of sets. If you can, share a couple of sessions with us that is memorable to you. Some hard sessions, maybe. They make you do what, 10 by 1,000 max, that sort of thing.
I'll share some occasional ones, but I'm not sure if I can share what we normally do on a weekly basis, because I don't know if but
giving that away.
Done 100. We've done 100 100s on Boxing Day.
Oh yeah.
And I did them one on 110, one on 115.
115 interval. You did two.
Yeah. So it was you do one on 115.
Oh,
and then
okay.
The next one you do on 110, and then 100 until you get to 100 100s. That was a big one.
What were you coming in at?
Oh, I have it written down somewhere, but I think I was going about 110s on the 115 and about 108 on the 110.
Wow, 2 seconds and then you're off.
Yeah. But it's really about getting through those 100. And I've done 2500s we've done before, 3000, 2000, 1000 for time.
So they seem round numbers. They all add up to about 10K. How many sessions do you do a day?
If we have a big session, they're normally on Saturdays. Sometimes they're 8, 9, 10K. But a week on a small week, we'll do 65K. And I think normally average about 70K.
70K. So in a week, that's about 10K a day, or just over 10K.
A bit more, because we do 10 sessions a week, so 6.5 to 7K a session.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So 13K a day. And do you also do dry land?
I didn't until this year.
Yeah.
And this year I went from gym once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, and then we brought it back down as I came into the race.
3 times a day?
Not 3 times a day, 3 times a week. Sorry.
A week, yeah.
3 times a day.
It shows you got your big arms.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we didn't really do any before this year, just because I was still growing, still young. We didn't really see the need. And then this year we started to do it to add a bit of speed and strength and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
so I think this is me commenting, and I'm going to check with you also a couple of points. One, I missed it earlier when you were talking about the 1500 and then the 10K. It so happens that this year the 10K winner, Florian Wellbrock, he happened to be swimming in the 800 and the 1500. In the 1500, he came third or second behind Romanchuk and Bobby Fink. So there is some people, there are people, and Us Maloli, obviously back in the day, 2008 he was a 1500 winner, and then 2012 he actually won the open water 10K. So there's been a transfer. Is there any chance that you would be stepping down to do the 15K and race the best in Hong Kong?
The 1500?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will.
Take them on.
I've always done the 1500 as kind of, as well as the 10K. Like, we'll race it regularly over here in Australia, but untapered, unrested. just swim it. But I think that is something I'll probably do throughout my career.
Yeah.
Before the 8, the 15.
Yeah.
Just because if you do well in those, it does bring your swimming ability. It is good for your swimming ability, but it's not everything. Like if I don't do well in the 1500, it doesn't mean I don't do well in the 10K. But yeah.
Well, I think Bill, you're very special because you're swimming the 10K and then moving down to the 1500. That's very quite transferable, I think. But for the 1500 guy, who's the current holder? Michael Check.
Yeah, Check.
Yeah, I don't see him one day ever going to swim a 10K race, right?
I think he's
different.
done the 5K before, but I don't think he. I'm not him, so I don't know.
No. But he looks good.
It didn't seem like he liked it.
Saw him at the Open Champ this last weekend. He's playing. He's obviously a very, very good swimmer. He's got a number of Hong Kong records. But it's just out of interest how these names happen to be dotted on 1500 and 10K. So that's why I brought it up.
Also depends on the type of training. Like Flown Wellbrock, his type of training was really I've never trained there, but it's more of it seems like he's coming down for a 1500 and an 800 as well. He's doing over 100 kilometers a week. And a lot of those European 1500 swimmers do a really high volume. So a lot of them really don't have an issue doing 10K. It's just a normal session kind of for them. But I think some other 1500 swimmers that go up to it, they might struggle a little more.
I see. Okay, cool. Hey, so I just wanted to talk to you about your Olympic. Well, before I do, I've got two things jotted down here that I don't want to forget. Do you have any advice for us normal souls about open water swimming? How much do you weight drafting? How much do you give weighting to drafting?
I think drafting's huge. The biggest thing, like even if there's just two people, I would much rather sit there and pass them at the end than try and pass them early. Drafting, I think in a big pack, I think it can save maybe even up to 40%.
Okay, cool. But in the Olympic Games, it's quite hard, right? Because you've only got the last selection of people. How many people swam this time? 26 or something?
26.
Yeah.
26. It was meant to be 25, and there was one in technicalities. But 26 guys, very small for an open water.
So if there's any speed differential, it's really hard to define your draft. So,
well, with the small pack, it was very different from the qualifier and normal races because once someone went, there was a lot less draft there available to someone like me who looks for that.
Yes.
And
I think they're all looking for it. They all want to save energy.
Yeah, but it was an unprecedented race in that Wellbrock could lead from start to finish and win the race.
Yeah.
We've seen it before, and they never win if they go from the start. Jared Port tried it in Rio.
Oh, that was a famous swim. Yes.
Yeah, and Palchinieri tried it at World Championships. Didn't work. So it's really probably the first time someone's just gone fast from the gun. Tried to leave everyone behind from the go and still be able to win the race.
Yeah, I think drafting is a big deal. I jump in, and if I see your dad around, I'll try to get on his feet, but he's pretty quick. So, yeah. So how is your Olympic experience this time? Is it as good as you thought?
Yeah, it was
occasion?
great. The location, I liked it, but it wasn't well, I was told it wasn't a normal Olympics, and everyone's kind of like, there's a few things different from a normal Olympics because of COVID and everything.
Yeah.
But I try to enjoy it best I could whilst still training and focusing on the race.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you visit the
yeah,
village? Did you swim in the Olympic pool? As
yeah,
warm-up or part of it?
I was in the village and I swam in the training pool in that Olympic swimming facility, but I didn't actually swim in the pool that they race in.
Oh no, that's a big pool. Wow, that's amazing. But there were a number of Hong Kong swimmers there too. I mean, the highlight was obviously Chiffon winning her 100 and racing in the 100 and 200. We were very excited here in Hong Kong to watch that race. Where were you at the time? Were you still yet training?
I only got to the village. I was in Spain because I was still stuck in Europe trying to not have to quarantine going into the Olympics. So I got there. I was only allowed in a certain amount of time before my race. And I got there. When I got there, they'd finished the swimming, but the swimmers were still there. But I think it was last day.
Did you meet with any of the other pool swimmers?
Yeah, I met them all. Very, very nice people.
Yeah, excellent.
Very friendly, and just they're all great characters. And,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I just find that they get a lot more exposure because they swim in the pool repeatedly. They do relays and they do individual events, and then there was so much support behind, the chance of a medal for Chiffon. There was a lot of coverage about who they are and whatnot. Especially, it's great spectator sport in the pool. Whereas your race happened to be on a different day altogether, a different location. I think it starts at 5:30 here in Hong Kong, so it gets very little exposure. But I've mentioned this before. You are one of two male swimmers for Hong Kong, which is amazing.
One. There was two overall.
Yes.
There was a female before me.
One of two male swimmers in this Olympics representing Hong Kong in swimming.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So there's Yuen Long.
Yeah.
Yuen Long, whose stage is set for 22 seconds, 50 meters, and he also swam the 100 meters, in a pretty good time, but you swim 10K. 10K is, if you work it out, it's 200 times more distances than a 50 meter. So you've had that much more in the race, and when somebody else's race is over in 22 seconds. I think that's pretty amazing. And yeah, awesome. And previously in Rio, also the Hong Kong male swimmer was Jeffrey, right? Jeffrey Chen. He also swam the 50 meters freestyle. There's a lot of attention on that end of the race, but it's great to see you doing this 10K, which really puts swimming, this type of swimming on the map for Hong Kong. I think we should all spend a bit more time and think about where we put our resource and try to encourage the next group of swimmers to get involved. Although the places for going to the Olympics is very thin, just like any other event. But you've done it. You did it.
Thanks.
That's sweet, eh?
Yeah.
And also maybe I'm talking too much. We want to know about you, not me. But I want to express this opinion also, which is that a lot of people, the height of the career is to qualify for Olympics. I mean, they keep working at it. Bruno Fractus, I mean, he's 32 plus, and then he's getting a medal for coming third in the 50 meters freestyle. And a lot of people keep trying to go to the Olympics, and then when they reach it, they go there and it's fun, it's environment, they qualify. Okay, it's time to reflect on it and retire. Okay. Whereas for you, I can say this, young man, this is probably the start of your career. You know, you've got a taste of it now. You're only 18. You've got, you know, a long road ahead, but it is really long because you swim 10K. You've got tremendous potential to do even better than what you did this time. How do you see yourself developing in the next,
Yeah,
4, 8 years? You staying where you
really,
are? Or
well, I think I like to aim for top 10, somewhere further down in my career. And I've got a long time to build towards that. But even at the time of Paris, I'll still be about the same age as the next youngest swimmer that was at this Olympics. So I think open water swimming is really, most of those top guys are 25 plus. And so I've got, time to work towards that. But that being said, I'm still a fair way off those top guys. So, but I think it's possible. It's just going to take a few years of training and hard work. And yeah.
So where do you go from here? When do you finish high school? And will you be going to uni?
So
will you have to move?
I finished school at the end of last year. Sunshine Beach State High, in the Sunshine Coast, and then I started uni. I'm a semester into a Bachelor of Computer Science.
Wow, where are you doing that now? Where are you doing that?
University of the Sunshine Coast.
Oh, okay. So you're going to be around that area for a few years.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're allowed when we're allowed to come and visit, we know who to call. Yeah, I've been there once. Nusa, right? Nusa. Great swimming, great beaches, great weather. Cool.
Yeah, very touristy, nice little beach town.
Excellent. So that's something to look forward to. Very much.
Yeah.
Do you have any things to say to your supporters? Now, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of praise. Everybody's watching you. You know, you started going to this swimming with Lloyd. You know, he's fascinated. He's really happy. There's a decent open water swimming community here in Hong Kong. Edie, and all those people. Yuen, everybody's like staying on top of you. Well, keeping an interest in your development. Obviously, it's been amazing.
Yeah, well, I think the community's been great. Even if I wasn't here, Hong Kong's always had a great, a really big community, and it's really great that they, I see all the comments and I like them all, and try and like everyone. But yeah, there's just such a great, nice group of people, and probably without them, I wouldn't be who I am today, because I swam with them growing up every weekend.
Yes.
So that's where I got a lot of my experience, and without Lloyd's races and Ian's and a lot of people.
Olivier later on. Yes.
Yeah, Olivier running all the weekend swims now, and that's really good for Hong Kong open water swimming. Yeah.
Right. I have one more thought, one more comment, and you're probably the only person who can achieve this right now, and that person is going to not like me for this, which is, well, I don't know, Alex Fong. Okay, he swam around the island. He's a really good swimmer. He was a 2000 Olympic swimmer. He swam around the island, 45K in about 10 hours. He's a really fast swimmer. So the only person that I can think of to break his record is you. If you ever, I want to leave you with that thought. Maybe one day you'll contemplate doing that, and take that on. I see him quite a lot, but he's going to see this video, I'm sure. So
it's a long swim, 45K, but I'm sure sometime in my career I could have a crack at it. and there's a few long swims I'd want to have a crack at one day in the next 10 years. And yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I think we'll wrap it up here. Yeah. It's been really good talking to you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. And well, I'm still very happy for you. We'll stay happy for a long time yet. You got all these mails and comments to reply to, so enjoy your quarantine.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
See you again.
All right. See ya.